ITRBoxing. You heard it here first. Pretty cool videos. And I heard they're also in HD. ITRboxing.com.
I'm 6-0, 6-0 with 5 knockouts. My next fight is gonna be February 16th at the Microsoft Theater. I'm ready to go for my 7th win, 6 KO.
He's supposed to fight 8 rounds, but he got a little bit sick. He got ill he was out for about 6 months. So Richard said to do one more fight for 6 rounds and then move to 8 rounds. So after this one, we're moving to 8 rounds. Maybe sometimes around, I think he said that first week of April, he's moving to 8 rounds. So we're gonna pick it up little by little. So, but this is gonna be his last 6 round fight.
For me to represent the Balderas name comes from way back where my grandpa first came to the United States. When he came to the United States as an immigrant. He had nowhere to stay, bro. He was sleeping in the strawberry fields. So, and then when my dad was taking care of us for a while, my dad went to prison, my mom went to prison. We have had to come up through a lot of hardship, a lot of you know, we had a hard upbringing. We don't dwell on that, but now that where I'm at, in the position that I've been, the places that I've been to, the things that I've accomplished, you know, representing the name Balderas for me represents like a warrior spirit, because my family has gone through so much inside and outside of the ring. And the sport of boxing alone, you know, defines a man, I believe. And yeah, bro, so for me, that represents being a real man, a real hardworking man. It's a good feeling for me, because it shows me that I have a support. You know, a lot of people say, oh, we support you, or, you know, we want to see you do good. But in this case, these people really are supporting me. My closest people, my uncle David is my head coach. My dad is my coach, my trainer. My uncle Pastor, my uncle Emiliano, I know you met him. He helps us out too with like sponsorships, emails. So this is a family affair, and I prefer to have it like this, because my uncles and my dad, they're gonna tell me what I need to hear, you know, not what I want to hear. If I'm in the gym and I'm doing something bad, my Uncle David and my dad are not gonna sugarcoat anything like, oh, you're looking good. They're gonna be like, you're looking like shit. What's wrong with you? You know, they're gonna tell me what I need to hear. So for that reason alone, I believe it helps me a lot, and I prefer having it with my close family, with my close-knit family. I think so. I think I'm the most underrated, because to be an Olympic boxer, bro, you can't just be, okay, to start off, in the amateurs, I wasn't just knocking these people out in the pros like these prospects are. Right now, you have these prospects who are knocking these first fighters out, getting their first wins out of the way, which is good for them. But I've been knocking people out since I was an amateur. I've been knocking kids out since I was a youth, since I was a teen. I was already knocking out men. And on top of that, a lot of these fighters, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. These people are being hyped up to be something that they're really not. But to be an Olympic boxer, bro, to be a fighter who has faced international competition, and the people who know about boxing know who the real deal is. They know that anybody can get in there and knock out anybody for your first couple fights. But not anybody can be an Olympic boxer. Not anybody can have that resume. So yeah, I believe I am underrated. But this year, 2019, is the year.
Karlos was ill for almost 6 months, and but he never stopped training. He's very disciplined. Karlos, he's athletic. He's gifted. He can fight. He can punch. He can brawl. He can box. He can use his legs. He's gifted. Karlos gifted. So and his mind, his mentality is too strong. Just like his brother, they both have a very, very strong mentality, and that's one thing that I like about Mikey Garcia. For example, he believes in himself. The same thing happened with my boys. They believe in themselves. They have a very, very strong mentality, and that's what makes Karlos different than other fighters. And you're gonna see that he's gifted, he's athletic, special. Karlos special, very dedicated. He's very disciplined, as you know.
But I've already fought in the World Series of Boxing, and is one occasion I fought 5 rounds like 7-8 times versus the best fighters in the world, bro. 5 rounds is not that much, but I was a kid then, and to have faced those people at 18, I was already facing the best of the best. That gives me the the courage and the self-belief that I need, that I can go 8 rounds, 10 rounds with any of these fools. I've been facing the best, bro, since I was a teen. But there is a big difference from 6 and 8 rounds but I believe that it's gonna help me more, because as far as the rounds and stuff, I'm not too worried because we put in the work, bro. We're ready for 12 rounds. But when the fighter comes, the style comes, once you start hitting 8 and 10 rounds, these fighters start getting better in competition. But I believe that's where people are gonna start seeing my true skills. Because when we're facing these 6 rounders, 4 rounders, we're facing guys with honestly less experience, or some fighters with a lot of experience but with awkward styles that we've never seen before. Once I start making it to the 8 rounds, 10 rounds, I'm gonna start seeing more of the styles that I see in the gym, you know, more sparring styles. I believe so. So it is easier, but in a way it is gonna be harder. You get me? I was fighting some guy named something Silva. Man, this guy, first to start off, he was southpaw, and he would like move around the ring, like he kept his distance enough to where I couldn't hit him. Like we were at a fighting distance, but I was still too far. So he would move, and then he would like run in, jumping with his head straight forward, like trying to hit me, but at the same time throwing himself with his head. And the ref didn't see that. The ref only sees that, oh, he's running in with a shot. But in reality, this guy was running in with his head, and every time he was coming in, he was hitting me, and I would have to grab him. Like, shit, man, this guy, the ref doesn't see this. So I was getting real frustrated, bro. I ended up getting him with a body shot at the end of round 1, which really saved it, because that was being awkward, bro. He was hella awkward.
Oh my God. I mean, coming from Mexico, from poverty, you know, we had nothing in Mexico. We used to go to the landfills to pick cardboard, plastic bottles, just to sell it so we can eat, you know. Coming from nothing and make it to the Olympics, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling, and it's incredible, you know. It's something that I don't know. It's just incredible feeling, and it's amazing. Coming from nothing and then going to the Olympics, it's amazing.
My left hook is so good because I'm actually a left-handed fighter, I believe. When I was a little kid, I used to always do stuff with my left hand. My grandma, I used to eat and stuff, or I used to like do my homework on my left hand, and my grandma would like take the spoon away from this hand, or my pencil or whatever, and like hit me, bro, and force me to write with my right hand, because something about this Mexican saying that, you know, there's evil spirits if you're left-handed. But I've always I believe my left hand is my stronger hand, yeah. You're knocking everybody out with my left hand, stay on my way. At 130, I'm gonna campaign for a world title. And I know I'm gonna be ready for a world title when, more than anything, I believe that there are some good fighters. For example, Berchel at the 130, he's a world champion. Who else is champion in that division? Machado, maybe? A lot of these fighters are really good, but I know that when I'm gonna be ready is when my body tells me, when I'm in camp. When I'm in camp going 13, 14 rounds of sparring, when my body has already matured, because I'm already young, and I've grown up watching a lot of fighters, idolized a lot of fighters. But the biggest mistake I wouldn't want to do is something like, you know, with all due respect to my boy Fernando Vargas, you see how when they threw him to Felix Trinidad, he was a little too young. You know, we're not going to learn off my mistakes. We're going to learn off other people's mistakes. So I believe maybe 22 is too young. 23, you're maturing already. So I believe 23, 24, I should be ready for a world title, because I'm 22 right now. In 1 year, I should easily be like at 10 rounds, 8 rounds. And we'll see who has the titles from there, and then we'll pick and choose who we want to demolish first, and that's what we'll do.
I feel good. We feel good. Me and my brother train Carlos and his brother, and I feel good. I know my boys better than anybody. I know Carlos, I know Jose better than any other trainer. So I know exactly what we're doing. I know exactly what we want, and we feel good. We're doing good, and people's gonna see. We're not maybe not the best trainers, but we know exactly what we're doing. Carlos is gonna be a world champion. Jose Balderas is gonna be a world champion. but I believe that Carlos is gonna be a multi-time world champion. I believe so. I believe so.
The relationship that I have with my father is a really good relationship. I believe it's also because my family is well based on God. They're very, very kind of religious, very religious actually. My uncle's a pastor, so, and in the Bible it says honor your mother and your father, so your days in this earth can be long and and good, something like that it says. So for that reason and for many other reasons though. But my dad if it wasn't for my dad, honestly, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Like, I don't even want to sound it to say, I don't want it to sound like the most like I'm exaggerating or something, but it is true because growing up, a lot of my older cousins, a lot of my uncles, they were all gangbangers and stuff. A lot of them were getting into trouble. A lot of them have been locked up in gangs. When my dad got out and if me and my brother were getting into a lot of trouble as kids, and a lot of my uncles were telling us that we were going to grow up to be gangbangers and stuff like that, but my dad helped keep our life straight. My dad was very, very strict on us at times, even when we didn't want him to. But now I know why my dad is so strict or was so strict on us, because he's seen how easy it was for us to get in trouble, how easily we can get distracted. And a lot of my friends who grew up boxing with us got killed, bro, just because you started hanging around with the wrong people. And if you see in everything that I do, my dad's gonna be with me. Like, if you notice in everything I do, anything, I could be something outside of boxing, it could be something with anything else, my dad's gonna be right there supporting me. So my relationship with my dad is a really good relationship, and I know I can talk to my dad about anything under the sun, and he can still, my dad can be that person that is caring, but he can also get on my ass, he can get on my ass hard. Like, my dad doesn't play, he doesn't talk to me like, there's times where he gives me my respect, I'm 22 years old, I'm a man, but there's time where he's yelling at me like if I'm a 12-year-old kid, bro. Like, he's telling me, like, you shouldn't be doing this, why are you doing this, what's up with this, like. But I'm thankful for it all.